Nothing sets apart the cultural makeup of a region more than its customs and rituals. Ceremonies and social rites, and habits and behaviors all differentiate one person or groups of people from another. Certainly, religious rituals are some of the most noted and, yes, sacred of all practices. Rituals can be quite formal in nature. They can also just be symbolic. They can hold historic significance. And rituals can be rituals, well, just because they've always been done that way. But whichever way they're observed, customs and rituals have defined societies from the beginning of time. Customs and rituals tend to make up our daily living, our daily habits. How do we begin each morning? And how do we end our day? Customs and rituals include what we eat, how we dress, where we live, how we communicate, and how we celebrate and have fun. There are countless ways to classify cultural customs and rituals, and in almost every instance, each one has multiple meanings and purposes. For example, our way of life can be routine, such as these monks in Laos that begin each morning collecting alms of cooked rice donated from neighbors and residents. Our way of life is also conventional, like these Nubia women in Egypt who are just returning from shopping. Nubia is the homeland of Africa's earliest black culture. Our lifestyles include forms of artistic expression. This traditional mask dance has been performed in Bhutan for centuries and is a source of spiritual empowerment. Our way of life is habitual. This woman, like many in Asia, chews the betel nut, which is a mild stimulant that turns your teeth black, which she doesn't seem to mind. Our lifestyles include our house and unique construction. Gers, or yurts as the Soviets called them, are easy to collapse and assemble so they can be transported quickly by the mobile nomads in Mongolia. This torii in Japan is a customary gate at the entrance of a sacred place like a shrine or a temple, but they're a common sight at gardens and some homes. Our way of life is procedural, which follows a set of rules, even laws. Before entering the home of this elder in an Amazon village, you must follow a set social process of acceptance. Our lifestyle certainly includes what we eat, including our dietary preferences and culinary practices. In Turkmenistan, pilgrims sacrificed a lamb for this stew for their family dinner. The aroma of wonderful spices around the world contribute to some of the tasty meals we enjoy. Chicha is an integral part of the lifestyle in the Amazon. This fermented brew is not just a social custom, it's central to their diet. And men can drink 3 to 4 gallons of chicha each day. Our way of life also includes our language. And when different cultures meet and mix, new languages evolve. The language of a country binds together its citizens, and over time, dialects and accents unfold. And today, there are more than 6,500 languages spoken around the world. Lots of points to be made, and this headman in Africa is clearly making his. And not all communication is verbal. Drums play a unique way of communicating in some tribal cultures. Drums can be heard from tribe to tribe, and different beats hold different messages. Everyone around the world has different ways of passing their time. This girl in North Korea loves to embroider and is being tutored to perfect her talent. Our lifestyles include recreation. Attending a bullfight in Spain and many parts of Latin America is as common as attending a football game in America. People everywhere love to spend their time fishing. Here in Vietnam, some fishing boats are round and easy to maneuver, especially in shallow water. Others, like the one-legged fishermen here in Burma, row by standing on one leg and wrapping the other leg around the oar, which frees their arms to trap fish. And everyone also likes to dance. Dancing is such an important and oftentimes distinctive part of a culture. Dancing is a form of cultural expression and reinforces traditions and values, and is recognized as an essential source of identity that's rooted in the past. Dance is learned by being passed down through the generations. It can be spiritual, healing, part of martial arts, or just plain fun. But as modernization races forward, many cultural traditions, including dance, are at risk. When describing customs and rituals, clothing, and especially makeup, can top the list. It can be the first thing we notice. Like this Indian woman who wears a red dot on her forehead, which is a religious symbol signifying one is Hindu, and it's also a beauty mark. Makeup is oftentimes made from natural materials, which the Aboriginals use, or the Himba people on the Angola border. Here they cover their bodies with red ochre for beauty, and they never wash it off. Clothing and makeup are distinctive, like this woman in Ecuador, and unique, like this woman in Kenya, or this Herero woman in Africa. Clothing and makeup are traditional, such as this village leader in Syria, or this tribal chief in Ghana. Clothing and makeup are practical, like here in Peru, or here in Mali, where this Tuareg nomad protects himself from the harsh desert. Clothing and makeup are religious, like this covered Muslim woman in Syria, and spiritual, like this young monk, or this Hindu man. Clothing and makeup can be extraordinary, like these Burmese women. And down the road, some women still tattoo their faces, which was originally done a long time ago to disfigure themselves in order to protect them from slavery from the ruling princes. And kids can dress traditionally, like this youngster in Mongolia. And they will participate in rituals just like their parents here in Myanmar. Or this girl in Laos who is on her way to a ceremony. And earrings are certainly unique, such as this Dai woman. Or this Maasai woman in Tanzania. And here in Burma, the women of the Badang tribe traditionally wore heavy jewelry around their necks as a way to better protect their valuables. Ceremonial practices can be colorful and lively with music and dance. This tribal leader in Papua New Guinea is teaching others how to prepare for a traditional sing-sing. These events can include historic traditions as simple as the Bedouin tea ceremony here in Jordan. Or sharing a hookah water pipe in Lebanon, which I'm told, if done properly, can be an intellectual exercise. Cultural practices can include religious and spiritual rituals, like these prayer flags in Tibet. This gypsy in Uzbekistan is mixing up some incense for good luck, as do some Chinese and some Japanese, who also post fortunes to bring good luck. Ceremonial practices can be used as storytelling ceremonies. Marriage rituals are unique in India, where this groom is arriving for his wedding on horseback. These events can celebrate births and baptisms, like this youngster on his way to a ceremony in Mali, where his name will be chosen by the village elders. These customs and practices celebrate life through funerals, such as this very public Hindu cremation in Kathmandu. Or these vibrant, colorful graveyards in Guatemala. Ceremonies also include initiation rites of all kinds. This boy in Eastern Africa will spend more than 3 months away from home learning how to become a man and a warrior. In New Guinea, as an initiation rite entering manhood, boys will cut and scar their skin to represent the scales of a crocodile. But here a girl is doing the same practice. It's not much different than getting a tattoo. And ceremonial and spiritual practices can also be medicinal, such as these women in southern Africa who spread a black herbal cream on their faces to help heal a bad cold. Or this shaman who has gone into a trance to connect with his ancestors to heal a sick child. Or this healer in the Amazon who is collecting evil spirits and blowing them away. Customs and rituals include practices and behaviors that distinguish one person from another. Some are obvious and noticeable. Others may seem more routine. The way we dress certainly sets us apart. How we cook and what we eat also may be unique. And even though all religions teach the same principles, the way we practice our faith is different. But these characteristics between cultures and people can add richness to today's multicultural societies. Our diverse communities thrive on the eclectic contributions from all nationalities. How thrilling it is to observe and be a part of these fascinating and ancient cultures today, in spite of modernization. But our cultures are at risk, particularly those from the world's earliest societies. I wonder all the time, how will technology affect or change or protect our most unique cultures and their remarkable people? What will our global future look like? This diverse world is breathtaking, and it's been shaped because of our own ethnic makeup. And when you peel back the top layer of the cultural onion, you'll find fewer differences than you think. And the more I travel, the more I realize how much we are all alike. We want to be part of something greater than ourselves, including our families, our relationships, and our communities. We also want to belong, participate, and contribute. The wonderful variety of cultures and their unique rituals and traditions have added all the ingredients and spices to our ever-growing multicultural communities. So it's more important than ever to recognize and find interest in our similarities, because that understanding helps us to respect our differences.